And on constructing new nuclear power plants in Illinois is one step closer to ending. The state Senate passed legislation lifting the 36-year-old moratorium. Our Capitol Bureau chief in Springfield, Max Cotton, joins us live from Springfield. The latest on the bill. Max?
Well, hey, good evening, Daniel. And yeah, that bill passed today. It was broad and bipartisan, and it's actually very similar to a bill lawmakers passed in the spring that would have ended the moratorium, but Governor Pritzker vetoed that bill. Now they hope they can assuage the governor's concerns while also paving the way for more reliable energy here in Illinois.
Nuclear is powering America's clean energy future. Nuclear provides clean, reliable, and secure energy that we can count on to help reach our clean energy goals here in Illinois.
State senators gave their vote of approval to nuclear power Wednesday, overwhelmingly passing the bill allowing the construction of new small modular nuclear reactors.
It's important because right now is when people are making decisions on their future direction of their energy needs.
There won't be a rush to construction right away if the bill becomes law. The moratorium wouldn't be lifted until 2026. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says it can take up to 5 years to clear the federal regulatory hurdles. That's why, with all coal plants in the state set to shut down by 2045, lawmakers say now is the time to act to ensure we meet our future energy needs.
And as we move towards a clean energy future and we start taking certain types of energy offline, we have to have something to replace all those megawatts.
Joyce, whose father sponsored the law creating the moratorium during his time in the state Senate, says technology has changed and our laws must evolve too. Kaler adds, we need to embrace the new technology if we're truly committed to going green.
If we're really serious about decarbonizing our environment, I think we have to look at this and allow for all kinds of options. This is one option in how we're going to get there, and we need to take it seriously.
In Springfield, Max Cotton, WGEM News. And this bill now heads to the State House. And Governor Pritzker, when he vetoed the bill, he said the language was too vague. And he feared that the bill would lead to an increase in large-scale nuclear reactors being built here in the state, not just the small ones. In Springfield, Max Cotton, WGEM News.